Welcome to Introduction to HTML, Part 3. What we want to talk about today is something called cascading style sheet, or CSS for short. What this is the ability to style and change the properties of certain commands that you already have in place. So I can change the properties of something that has an H1 on it. So I can make this dogs text up here look a little more exciting than just a header level 1. I can change the properties of a paragraph. I can change the properties of an image. I can change the properties of a link. So that is all CSS really does. It adds a little style by changing the properties of commands that are already in place. How we start this is above our body, we are going to add some new commands. We're going to add the beginning of a head and add the beginning of a style. And then we'll go down a couple lines and we're going to add that same style and end the head. If you haven't really got familiar with it, HTML has a lot of starting and ending sections of its commands. So you need to be very careful that you're always ending what you are starting. So what we're going to do here in the style section, this is exactly where I'll put all of our CSS code, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger as I add more information, is we're going to affect the style of a command that's already in place. The command I want to use is H1. So I want to go ahead and do H1 there, and we're going to give it properties. So after the H1, we're going to do these special brackets. You'll find them right above the Enter key. And we are going to give the properties certain values, and that's exactly how you're going to look at it. You're going to have a property, colon, value. Therefore, you're going to affect it in that specific way. So for instance, I'm going to change the color property of H1, and the value will be red. And I'll end a semicolon. And if I save this, I can then refresh it, and the property of that H1 changed to red. So we can add a few more properties. We can say text align, and the value will be centered, semicolon. I will save it, and I'll refresh my browser, and now my dogs is in the center of the page. And I think lastly, I want to make it bigger. So I'm going to say font dash size, and I want the size to be maybe 80 pixels. And now it's bigger text. And if I look back and I say 80 pixels is not nearly enough, I'll say 120 pixels. Save it, refresh, and now I have a very big title. So this way of affecting our commands with this cascading style sheet, or CSS for short, is very intuitive. You just need to really separate with a colon, and after you're done with each of the commands or each of the prompts, then you have to end it with a semicolon. So it has a property of red, and the value, or the property of color, and the value is red. You have a property of text align, and the value is center. And lastly, you have a property of text size, and you have a value of 120 pixels. And you can use this exact same type to affect multiple commands in your code. And that is what I want you to do. There are multiple websites out there to give some examples of what CSS prompts could look like, especially when affecting things like fonts, things like pictures, and things like commands for text and links. So I want you to go ahead and give that a try.